Welcome to the speaking section of IELTS examination. My name is Sapna Dhamija and I would be your examiner for this part of the test, and this test would be recorded. May I know your full name, please?
My full name is Amulya Maria.
Okay. How may I address you?
You can call me Amulya.
That's great. May I see your identification, please?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Where do you live?
I hail from a very small town named Tohana in district Fatehbad, Haryana. It is in the northern part of India.
Okay. Are you student or working?
I am a self-employed person. I am owning and managing my own restaurant and also looking after my ancestral agricultural land.
Now few questions will be based on handwriting. Do you think handwriting is still important?
Certainly, yes, it is very important, mainly because it reflects the personality of the person who is writing, and also it is very well important in communication. Whether the person is able to read particularly and the communication is perfect. So it should be understandable. So handwriting is very important.
Do you think computers might one day replace handwriting?
No, I don't think so that computer will replace handwriting, because handwriting is not only writing, it expresses our feelings and it depicts our personality. So I think the person who is reading will not be able to understand the feelings of text written through computer. So handwriting will remain there.
Okay.
No matter what.
Do you usually write by hand or write by using a computer?
It depends upon what is the situation. Sometimes when I have to express my feelings and for example writing a letter to somebody whom I related to, or writing on a card wishing somebody, and then I write in my handwriting. Otherwise, for example, writing mails, emails, I use computers.
That's great. Do you think handwriting will die in the future?
Never. Handwriting will never die in future, as I already earlier mentioned, that handwriting will remain forever, because it is expressing your feelings and emotions, and the person who is reading can feel those expressions and gather those feelings. So I think handwriting will never fade.
So before proceeding further toward this interview, I would like to announce at VIP platform we are offering both writing and speaking online classes. If you guys wish to enroll, then you can. The number is displayed below. Either you can contact us or WhatsApp us. Now few questions will be based on foreign language. Why do you think it's important to learn a foreign language?
I think it is very important, mainly because it is for the development of personality of the person learning, and also due to this globalization and this technical era, people are now interacting with not only with their local native people, they are also interacting with other people living in other countries. So it is better to learn the language of that country, and also nowadays people are more inclined towards immigrating to other countries mainly for better job opportunities and good lifestyle, and so it is very important for them to learn foreign language.
Okay, how it is helpful to you to speak a foreign language?
I think it is very much helpful if I can speak a foreign language, particularly if I talk about English. My native language is Hindi. I am able to understand and fluently converse in English. It would be better for me to connect with other peoples who are not from either from my country or from other regions of the country which are not speaking Hindi.
What is the best way to memorize new words?
I think best way to memorize new words is by writing them and using them in sentences, writing at least 5 to 10 sentences using that word, and also knowing the synonyms and antonyms of that word. It will be beneficial for writing, understanding and memorizing that word.
Okay. Is it better to learn new words from translation or by definition?
I think it will be both important. The translation and a definition. Definition tells about what is the meaning of that word, and the explanation, translation tells us how we can use that word.
Okay, that's very good. Now few questions will be based on politeness. Okay, who teaches you to be polite?
Mainly the first teacher in our life are our parents. They teach us whether to be polite or not, whether to be empathetic towards others. So it is mainly parents and teachers, and also our peers who teach us to be polite and be empathetic towards people.
Okay, so how do Indian people show politeness?
Through their gestures. Initially they greet each other, and next they offer something to drink, or converse with the other people to know about them, about their well-being and how they are doing in their family. So there are so many ways to show politeness.
Has the way people show politeness changed in India?
I don't think so. People are, due to this highly density of population in our country, and our India is the mostly populated country. We people believe in socializing, and socializing. The main principle of socializing is politeness. So I don't think that it has changed over the period of time.
Okay. Are you angry with people who are late?
It depends upon the situation. When they have some solid logical reason behind being late, so I don't mind. But if they are habitual of being late, then I certainly get irritated.
Okay. So thank you. This is end of the part 1. Now I'm going to ask a cue card. This is your cue card, and if you wish to plan your answer, then you can use paper and pencil for making notes. And you have to speak between 1 and 2 minutes. Okay, your time starts now.
There are so many laws in our country as per the constitution, but there are some situations where I think that there is a lack of law, and here I would like to talk about a law which I think which is very necessary for our country to implement. I would like to introduce a law with the title Universal Digital Education Act, which will mandate digital literacy and coding education to all students, starting from elementary school to through high school. This Universal Digital Education Law will integrate the digital education and coding literacy, coding education, and computational thinking in the national curriculum across all school levels. This will include mandatory courses on basic computer operations, internet security, digital communication, coding languages like Python and JavaScript, and problem solving using technology. And it will be very highly, I hope that it will be very popular amongst young generation and the parents who realize the importance of digital skills in this modern world. However, there will be some resistance from traditionalists or those who are concerned with the logistics and cost of implementing such widespread changes. But with the sufficient fundings and resources for training teachers and updating the infrastructure, it will be effectively implemented across country. And I feel very highly about this, highly positive, and this positive about this act, the Universal Digital Act, because it will it will be helpful for not only inculcating digital skills and problem solving abilities in all the children, it will also bridge the gap between the rural and urban areas, and which are underprivileged areas, because the education will be mandatory for all students irrespective of their social and economic background. And it will also be aligned with the vision of India, making India a global leader in technology and innovation. And I think I believe that it will have a profound and lasting impact on Indian economy.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to ask some follow-up questions which will be based on the cue card. How will the implementation of this law impact on your society?
It will make a digitally empowered society in India, and the economy which is based on knowledge. It will create job opportunities for the students who are highly skilled in digital skills, and who are computational, who are excelled in communication skills. So it will create for them better job opportunities, and it will make them prepare for the future challenges.
How do you think this law could be improved?
This law could be improved. It is not already there. It is not there in the country. I have thought about it. It should be there, and it can be improved in the sense that it can be implemented if it can be implemented properly. That it will be a big success, and it will help our economy and country as a whole very much.
Okay. So don't you think that with awareness, if we want to implement, then with high awareness this law could be improved in the country?
Certainly, yes. The awareness will be there, certainly will be very important to educate people about their rights and about this act, so that they can participate in the digital education and coding, and they can support this concept.
Okay. Is there any circumstance wherein people may violate the law?
There might be people who will not be willing to abide by this law, and for example, schools will not be ready to implement this law, as it will require them to improve their infrastructure and train their teachers for digital and hire teachers with highly skilled digital skills. Obviously, they will have to bear some cost. So there will be resistance, but if we will educate them, make them aware about the benefits of this act, I am hopeful that certainly they will support this act.
Okay, so do people like civil service officers in your country?
Yes, certainly they respect civil services employees, and some of them are they are a role model for younger generation, and people are if I talk about UPSC exams, lakhs of people apply for UPSC exams to become civil servants, and hardly hundreds of vacancies are there for them.
So people want to be the part of these services?
Yes, certainly, yes.
Okay. Do people in your country usually obey the law? Any law?
Yes, people of my country majority of them are law-abiding citizens, except a few instances where people are not following law, and they break law, and they are well punished by the judiciary.
Okay. According to you, what rules should students follow at school?
Students should basically stay in discipline. They should be punctual, and they should not only complete their homework on time. They should also follow rules and regulations of the school, and they should help each other, their classmates, and follow their teachers.
Do you know about certain rules which should be followed by the students?
Yes, to be punctual, being there in the uniforms,
Yeah.
and following the schedule of the school and completing their exams and being disciplined and obey their teachers.
Okay. What are the benefits for people to obey rules?
Obeying rules make them safer, make the society safer for the people, and smooth life. For example, following the traffic rules will certainly make them people safer, and there will be less accidents happening on the roads.
Okay, don't you think that it will be helpful to make a peaceful society?
Yes, it will make them peaceful society. There will be less crime in the society, and harmony will be there. People will be happy, so because the judiciary and the system is fair to them.
Yeah, and even it will increase the tolerance among people. Yes. How can parents teach children to obey rules?
They can mainly they can lead by example, by obeying rules themselves. They can be a role model, and they can also tell them about the logic behind the rules, why those rules are there for them, and also they can reward their children by when they obey rules and regulations, and also by making them attend some legal camps which are time to time organized by the
And
police.
what about films? Parents ask their children to watch some documentary films to obey the rules, to see something.
I don't know about such documentaries or films which are being shown to students or by the schools or by the parents. But if certainly if there are some documentaries or some movies are there which which teach children about obeying law and being a law-abiding citizens, certainly it should be shown to the children.
Thank you so much. This is end of the test. Thank you.